little bit about what we've been doing with Club DSPORT. You can check out the website there and get some of the information, but to be honest with you, we don't have enough time to go and update it for all the stuff that's going on. But I remember a project that we did a few years back was we wanted to learn more about the VR38 engine. So we took a bunch of them, used ones, blown up ones, went through and tried to see what the opportunity was there that probably wasn't being realized in the aftermarket industry at the time. And one of the things we noticed was that nobody was basically taking these engines and honing them so that the cylinders were round. When you buy a brand new block from Nissan, the cylinders are perfectly round without the cylinder head bolted on. As soon as you bolt on the cylinder head, all of a sudden you have an issue. It becomes basically egg-shaped, and the OEM, Nissan, deals with it by making a cast piston that's kind of designed to expand in all the right areas to work in a non-circular, non-round cylinder, and that's how they kind of get away with it. And the aftermarket has addressed it by basically adding some extra clearances here and there so everything works in a cylinder that's not round. But we like things to be round that are supposed to be round and things that are supposed to be flat, so it's kind of we wanted to see if there was any opportunity there. And the challenge was the cylinder is actually lined with a spray-on plasma coating of iron, and it's only about 10 thousandths thick, so it's not a thick coating. So what we wanted to find out is, was there a way we can hone that with a torque plate on that so it would basically simulate what happens when you put on the cylinder head. And we tried different abrasives and different techniques and everything else, and we finally figured it out. We finally figured out, okay, we can do it. And we had, in the process, we wanted to take out the minimum amount of material possible. So we ended up figuring out that was about 95.55 millimeters, basically 0.05 millimeters over, about 2 thousandths of an inch, or actually less than that. And that was kind of the process. So in doing so, we did that. We worked with Moly Pistons, and they helped us design our Generation 1 piston for it. And that's what we put in our reference series engines, and have that, every single one of those sets, I think maybe we have one set of those left, has been out there. Every single one of those engines is running strong, and it was just very successful for us. But of course, that was about at least 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. And so we looked at it and said, well, there are opportunities, there's always technology, is always moving ahead. And so for our V2 piston, we looked at and said, what can we update? And there's been advances in the ring packages available for this platform, gas porting, and some other features and benefits that we decided to put into it. So this right here, this is our V2 piston from Club DSPORT. And let me show you some of the features. So the top ring groove has been anodized. It is also gas ported. There's been undercrown milling in here to basically lighten it up, take away mass where you don't need it. It's not doing anything but just making the piston heavier. And we also, as far as the geometry on the pin location, kind of maximized it to keep this piston quiet, yet give it the most mechanical advantage possible by offsetting the pin. So a few differences from before, plus the ring package itself got significantly improved. So that uses the HV385 coating technique on the top ring. We use a WPC treated ductile second ring with a Napier profile, and a new 3-piece oil control ring package. So it's been significantly updated. We're going to have, I think, the first of one of our engines ever to come back for service. It's running fine. In fact, the engine itself made with a pair of Zona greens on it. I believe it was, I'm trying to remember, Hibibi Motorsports?
Yeah.
Or Hibibi, yeah. I think he made 950 horsepower, something insane. I mean, we never push them that hard with that turbo setup. I mean, with bigger turbos, we'll push them that hard. Those Zona greens were definitely beyond their normal operating range, but he had over 900 horsepower to the wheels with an engine that drives around like stock and stuff. But he wants to go to the 58 millimeter class, put some bigger turbos on there. So we're going to actually see that come back. So it'll be the first time we get to see it. And I think we're going to upgrade it to the V2s and see if we see any, A/B comparison there with any performance increase. A lot of the improvements that we have here, a few of them should increase performance, but more than that, they're going to make the engine braking easier and also have the advantage of basically braking in easier and then some additional longevity out of it. So let's also go into another development with the Club DSPORT product line for the VR38 is right here, graded pistons. So we don't believe that taking a brand new engine or taking a used engine and just dropping in pistons is the best way to do it, but we understand that that's the way that 95% of the people out there do it. So we decided to take what we learned from our pistons and offer a graded piston. So a graded piston is basically, you can look on the engine block and determine what the factory grade size for each of the bore is, and basically order up your mix of grade 2 and grade 3 pistons that you need in order to fit those bores. So this one, you wouldn't hone the cylinders to do it. Basically, you can just go through and hit them with a ball hone or something that just preps the surface for fresh piston rings. So it's a new product that we have out, and if you guys have questions about VR38s, these pistons or any other pistons, please let us know right now. And I'll show you finally the other option that we have is in doing the thermal barrier coating on the piston. So this one here is the same as our V2, but we've basically just added a thermal barrier coating, and that reduces the heat transfer from the cylinder into the piston through the crown. And where that can be helpful, by itself it doesn't necessarily add horsepower. It will add some additional durability and a bigger safety factor in case you're running the engine too lean. You won't melt the crown or burn through it or anything like that. But where you can use it and get an actual performance advantage is if you also do thermal barrier coatings in the combustion chamber, on the face of the valves, and in the exhaust port. And when it's combined with that, then you can actually improve some response on your setup and get some additional performance. All right, so do we have any questions coming in? Really? Okay. All right, so we're going to clean up our mess here and make sure we don't have that technical difficulty going forward. And we'll be joining you guys shortly again. Thank you so much.